Meology. The truth about polyphasic sleep. Most people think sleep is simple. Go to bed, sleep 8 hours, wake up, repeat. But what if human beings were never naturally designed to operate in one rigid block of sleep? And what if modern sleep culture has more to do with industrial society than actual biology? Welcome back to Meology. Tonight we're doing a deep dive into polyphasic sleep, NASA NAPS, REM cycles, historical segmented sleep, creativity, neuroscience, and the SAM method. This message may not be for everyone, and you'll know very soon if it's for you. Polyphasic sleep means sleeping in multiple phases throughout a 24-hour period instead of one continuous overnight sleep. Most modern people are monophasic sleepers, one long sleep cycle. But there are other patterns. Biphasic sleep usually means one major sleep plus one nap. Polyphasic sleep means multiple sleep periods spread throughout the day and night. Now, before people immediately say this is unhealthy, the truth is more complicated than that. Historically, humans may not have naturally slept in one uninterrupted block at all. Historian Roger E. Kirch documented hundreds of references to something called first sleep and second sleep. For centuries, people would naturally sleep for several hours, wake up in the middle of the night for an hour or two, and then go back to sleep again. During those waking periods, people would pray, reflect, write, talk quietly, or simply think. This was considered normal human behavior before industrialization changed society. Then came factories, artificial lighting, standardized work schedules, school systems, and clock-based labor. Human beings became synchronized around productivity systems, not necessarily around natural biological rhythms. Now let's move into the science. Sleep is not one single neurological state. It's multiple stages: light sleep, deep sleep, and REM sleep. REM stands for rapid eye movement sleep, and this stage is strongly associated with dreaming, emotional processing, learning, memory consolidation, and creativity. According to sleep researcher Dr. Matthew Walker, author of Why We Sleep, REM sleep helps the brain process emotional experiences and integrate cognitive information. Deep sleep is more associated with physical recovery, immune repair, nervous system restoration, and hormonal regulation. Now this is where things get interesting. Some researchers believe sleep architecture can adapt over time depending on repeated behavioral patterns. In other words, the brain may become more efficient entering certain sleep stages under certain conditions. This brings us to NASA NAPS. NASA conducted fatigue studies involving pilots and astronauts and found that short naps improved alertness, cognitive performance, and reaction time significantly. That matters because fatigue destroys performance, especially in aviation. Reaction speed drops, judgment drops, situational awareness drops. Fatigue changes everything. Now here's where the SAM method enters the conversation. SAM stands for sensory, assumption, and mental simulation. This is one of the core frameworks behind meology. Most people think they experience reality directly, but they don't. The brain is constantly filtering reality through SAM. First, sensory input. What you see, hear, feel, taste, and smell. Second, assumption. The brain immediately interprets sensory information using memory, emotion, bias, experience, expectation, fear, conditioning, and past associations. Third, mental simulation. The brain predicts meaning, builds scenarios, creates emotional narratives, and runs probability models about reality. This process happens constantly. Now apply SAM to sleep. When sleep timing changes, sensory input changes too. Nighttime is quieter, less interruption, less stimulation, less social pressure, different lighting, different emotional atmosphere. That changes the sensory environment. Then assumptions begin shifting. The brain becomes more internally focused, reflective, symbolic, and observant. Then mental simulation intensifies. The brain starts connecting ideas, processing memory differently, building emotional narratives, and forming unusual associations. This is one reason many people report heightened creativity during altered sleep schedules, not magic. Neurology. Researchers have also studied hypnagogic and hypnopompic states. These are transitional states between sleeping and waking, where the brain operates differently than normal waking consciousness. During these states, people often report vivid imagery, unusual insights, creative breakthroughs, and emotionally intense thought patterns. Artists and inventors intentionally experimented with these states. Salvador Dali reportedly used controlled micro-naps to stimulate creative imagery. Thomas Edison also experimented with fragmented sleep schedules. The point is not that sleep deprivation makes people enlightened. That's nonsense. Chronic sleep deprivation is dangerous. Research consistently links insufficient sleep to impaired cognition, emotional instability, depression, anxiety, metabolic dysfunction, heart disease risk, memory impairment, and reduced immune function. So this video is not glorifying exhaustion. Actually, I think recovery is intelligence. But I also think modern society oversimplifies human variation. Not everybody operates optimally under identical schedules. Circadian biology is complex. Chronotypes exist. Some people naturally function better early in the morning. Others become cognitively sharper at night. Modern systems tend to reward one pattern while criticizing the other. That's worth thinking about. The real point here is not that everyone should become polyphasic sleepers. The real point is that human beings are adaptive systems, and observation matters. That's the entire purpose of meology. Observe your patterns. Track your energy. Track your focus. Track your emotional regulation. Track your recovery. Track your creativity. Track your sleep architecture. Because once you understand your own operating system, you stop blindly forcing yourself into someone else's. Sleep remains one of the least fully understood systems in neuroscience. We know sleep matters. We know dreams matter. We know recovery matters. But researchers are still discovering how flexible human sleep patterns may actually be. And honestly, that's fascinating. This is Meology. Like, share, subscribe. And remember, your brain is always running simulations. The question is whether you're observing them consciously.